Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fantasy Football Harsh Reality. I am your host, the Greg Wilson, comedian extraordinaire and fantasy football enthusiast. Today, I'm coming to you live from the offices of the Comedy Institute. If you would like to learn the craft of comedy, I teach it right here at my studio, the Comedy Institute. And if you'd like to learn the craft and live outside of Los Angeles, go to the website, thecomedyinstitute.com. My masterclass is available on video for digital download. Joining us now live on Facebook, Dan Glazer. How are you, Dan? Thank you for joining me for my fantasy football podcast. It is now time now. It is Tuesday. We can lick our wounds from week 7. I don't know how your week was. For me, personally, I was up against the number 1 team in both of my leagues. Now, in one league, I was in second place, so it was 2 versus 1. In the other league, I was in 5th place, and so it was 5 versus first place. But finally, the fantasy football gods took pity on me, and instead of me losing a game where I score the second highest points in the league, but the guy I'm playing scores the highest points in the league, this one time, the football gods saw fit that not only did I have my worst game, but so did he. The Berman boys, number 1, he managed to score his lowest points, which were lower than my lowest points. So really what it came down to was, it wasn't about who wanted to win the most, it was about who managed to lose the least. And, and in this instance, I was the guy that managed to lose the least. So I won that game, but then in my other league, where I was in second place, playing first place, I thought I really had this guy. But unfortunately, Mariota didn't have the game that I wished Mariota would have. And so that being the case, he had Drew Brees, which I had predicted that Drew Brees was not going to have a very good game. And I wasn't the only person saying this, because the Saints, first of all, they have a terrible defense, and they're going up against Tennessee. But the Saints are traditionally terrible on the road, okay? And they're even worse. The Vikings got out-defensed. We'll get to that in just a minute. So they're normally terrible on the road, and they're even worse outdoors. Normally, New Orleans is just terrible outdoors. I was really counting on Drew Brees to have a bad day. He wound up putting up 31 fucking points, or maybe 33. It was ridiculous, and that was the difference in the game. Plus, he had David Johnson, who was another back that I said was going to have a much more difficult day, because he said because he was going up against Seattle. And I knew going up against Seattle was going to be they're a tough defense, man. And sure enough, David Johnson had a very tough day. He never got in the end zone. But I failed to factor in the fact that Arizona has decided that it requires no other offensive players besides David Johnson. I thought it was bad with Le'Veon Bell, with the way the Steelers made every play about Le'Veon, but the Cardinals have taken it too. Why do the receivers even line up? I wonder if they get together in their meetings and they're just like, so what bullshit are we going to run around this week while we wait for David to fucking fumble the ball? I mean, he's the whole fucking offense. They don't do anything else. They occasionally pass, but even on 3rd and long, they're fucking handing the ball to David Johnson. It's unbelievable. So even though he didn't score a touchdown, the motherfucker still managed to get almost 30 fantasy points by running for 155 yards on something like 50 carries. 50 fucking, who gets 50 carries? Oh my God, I was losing my mind. I expected, and let me tell you something, it started out looking like it was going to be a very pedestrian game for David Johnson. He was hitting that wall 2 yards, 3 yards. You thought eventually he might start slinging the ball, but the Arizona defense showed up out of nowhere and managed to hold them back too. And so Seattle was just as bad on the offense as was Arizona, and so it wound up being such a low-scoring game. They never had to pass the ball, and so it's just David Johnson. Fucking suck my David Johnson. It's driving me crazy. But let us start the week with a few "What did I tell you?" Now, these are things that I said last week were going to be true about this week. And by the way, the Niners still suck. even with Kaepernick. Cowboys, though, number one, Cowboys! You can count on it. We're coming back, and we're playing Philly this week. Very exciting game. We'll talk about that on Thursday or Friday when we put out the when we do the Week 8 preview. By the way, can you believe we're already like halfway through this season? It goes so fucking fast. That's right, Cowboys. So here we go. Let's talk about things. What did I tell you? Things I said would come true that absolutely came true. Number one, Randall Cobb. I said he was going to have a huge game because they got no running back. I said he would have run plays, and he did. He even broke one for 15 yards. I honestly feel if they were stuck with Randall Cobb, like he may have run a touchdown into. But of course, they were giving it to everybody in that fucking game. But he should have had 3 TDs. He got 1 plus a bunch of receiving yards, but he should have had 3 TDs in that fucking game. Now, nobody predicted Davante Adams. If you're picking up Davante Adams right now, because we saw Jordy Nelson get hurt in that first quarter, and Jordy Nelson, they just used him as a decoy the rest of the game. A lot of people played Jordy Nelson, and he just couldn't get going because they never threw to him again the rest of the night. Never threw to him again because it looks like he may have tweaked that hamstring or maybe tweaked the knee. I don't know. I haven't checked the reports, but Jordy Nelson, Davante Adams is right now the waiver wire pick going into tonight. Okay. So I said Randall Cobb was going to have a crazy good game, and he did. 28 fantasy points. Ajayi is believing in Ajayi. You know, it's remarkable what happens when you taste success, right? Because Ajayi, okay, they've had Ajayi. This is his second season. They had him all last year. He's run the ball a couple of times, but it was so weird. I don't know what happened in that first 200-yard game, but it just like lit him up. He's like, oh, that's right, I'm a fucking beast. Now, here's what I got wrong. I said there was no way that he was going to run for another 200 yards. No, not fucking possible. And let me tell you something, people. I've said that a few times in my life, and every time I've said that, I've been wrong. So I think either I need to stop saying that, or anytime I say it, you need to bet on the opposite happening. I know, Ajayi just woke up. I'm telling you, Ajayi finally believes in Ajayi. He believes he can do it, so he can do it. And I think before, he just was like, oh no, no. But the guy, he had all the physical attributes, and he's putting them to work. He believes in himself finally. Jeremy Hill, I had said, you know, you can't tell which guy it's going to be, but I had a feeling it was going to be Jeremy Hill. I said it. What did I say? I said Jeremy Hill, and the guy fucking dominated, ended up having a monster game. Zach Zenner, I said if all these, you know, if Theo Riddick couldn't go, play Zach Zenner. Now, he didn't have a phenomenal game. He only ran for like 38 yards, whatever, but he got a touchdown, and that's what counts. He wound up walking out of there with 8.5 points, which isn't great. But it's what in a flex, not bad. Spencer Ware, I said this would be, now I don't know if this is the last week that Spencer Ware is going to be valuable, but I said this would definitely be the last week you can count on him being valuable because, you know, they're clearly working in Jamal Charles very, very slowly, and based on what I had seen, I really believe that there's at least one more week in Spencer Ware before it really starts to go Jamal Charles's way. So I think you get one more week. But I said this week, you would definitely have at least this week out of Spencer Ware. Sure enough, had an amazing fucking game. Crowder, I said, what did I say? I said Crowder. I said he's the only one I liked on Washington because Deshaun Jackson, he's like Mike Wallace. He needs somebody else to get the underneath so that he can run the long ball. Deshaun Jackson and Mike Wallace, neither one of them are versatile. They do one thing well, so someone else needed to get underneath. And of course, without Jordan, the tight end, being in the game. Sure, Vernon Davis, which we'll get to him in just a second, but I said Crowder was the guy I liked, and sure enough, Crowder over 100 yards, 16 points. I like Crowder since last year. Put it on the board. What did I say? Now, let's read to the next one. I said Vernon Davis. I said he's the only... he was the only, thank you, Reed, yes, Jordan Reed. I had said he's the only tight end that I believe you need to handcuff because Vernon Davis, they clearly like him when he gets in the game. They don't use him as much as Jordan Reed, but they do use him quite a bit. And sure enough, Vernon Davis got in the game, 6 receptions, 70 yards, 1 touchdown, 11 fantasy points. I fucking called it. Okay, Jacob Tamme. Remember when I was talking about the Atlanta game? Now, it wasn't the jizz fest that I was expecting out of Matt Ryan. I thought Ryan against San Diego would have a fucking huge game. And to be honest, we may need to start taking the Chargers defense seriously. They're playing with a lot of heart, a lot of grit. But I said, even Jacob Tamme. I said, Jacob Tamme's I like both the running backs. We didn't see the Tevin Coleman thing coming. Obviously, you never see injuries coming, but I said, even Jacob Tamme, sure enough, boom, he got a TD. What did I say about Edelman? I fucking said it. I said, this is the bounce back game for Edelman. Sure enough, 11 targets, 9 catches. Not his biggest day in terms of yardage. No TD. It was obviously a Blount day. That guy went fucking bananas. But he still got you 12 fucking points. And the targets went up, 9 catches. You still got 12 points out of him. It definitely counts as a bounce back game for Edelman, which is what I said. What did I say about Jaquiz Rodgers? I fucking said it about Jaquiz. I said Jaquiz Rodgers, if what's his name, Doug Martin wasn't good, you needed to play Jaquiz. And of course, for the second straight week, he went off 154 yards, 26 fantasy points. I'll tell you what, man, Jaquiz Rodgers, I fucking told you. And monitor him, you might get one. He's like Spencer Ware. You might get one more week. I don't know if you're going to get more than one more week for now, but you're at least going to get one more week out of him. Le'Veon Bell, Jesus Christ. Now, what did I say? I said Le'Veon, they were going to focus on stopping the run game. They did, of course, like David Johnson, this motherfucker. This guy is they give him the ball every fucking thing. They give him the fucking ball. He still wound up with 81 yards on 21 fucking carries. 80 yards. He caught 10 of 13 targets for 68 yards. He's the whole fucking offense. He still gave you like 22 fucking points. So while it wasn't his best day, which I said they were going to key on the run, because like David Johnson, they just give it to him. Here, take this fucking football. Will you take this football, please? They act like no one else. Antonio Brown got no point. Everybody else stunk, but Le'Veon Bell still got you the points. But I said it would be a tougher day for him. And sure enough, he never got in the end zone either. And what did I say? If Latavius Murray plays, okay, you needed to play Latavius Murray. I even said it. I like Latavius Murray. Murray. Latavius. I am Latavius Murray. Okay. I said he was going to have a great bounce back game because he's been injured. He was angry. Boom. 8 carries, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 out of 5 targets, 20 fantasy points. I fucking told you. David Johnson, we already covered David Johnson. Fuck this guy. I hate David Johnson, man. I mean, if you're on my team, listen, I'll tell you the guy. I'll tell you who's the happiest guys right now in the world. Whoever managed to get Jay Ajayi off the waiver wire, those are the guys. Remember last year when the person who got Devontae Freeman was the luckiest son of a bitch in the world? And last year I had taken Devontae Freeman off the waiver wire and then let him go because I was like, I need a receiver. And then the next week he fucking blew up. Whoever got, I almost got Jay. I saw him sitting on the waiver wire. I was like, he's a running back 1. I should just take him. That's right. Suck my David Johnson. But they wouldn't. I mean, anyways. So whoever got Jay Ajayi in your league, they're probably feeling pretty great about their team right now. Kansas City defense. What did I say about the Kansas City defense? I said they were a sneaky play. New Orleans isn't good on the road. Now, New Orleans did manage to put up some points, absolutely, but Kansas City got a pick 6 on them, which I knew they did, and wound up giving you 15 points, which was pretty fucking great, you know, in the whole thing. If you got 50 points for defense, I think they wound up the 3rd best defense of the week. What did I say about Kenny fucking Britt? Okay, I told you. I fucking told you. I said, if you think Kenny Britt's going to get you 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards every week, you're smoking crack. Because Kenny Britt ain't consistent like that. He's a big fat fucking turd burglar. You know, he's one of those guys that even a broken clock is right twice a day. That's fucking Kenny Britt. He has 2 great games every year. And then the rest of the time, 3 of 8 targets for 43 yards. Yeah, sit on those points. All right. Now, here's the thing. They had declared, remember they declared LaShawn McCoy out earlier in the week. Then later in the week, they're like, well, it's a game time decision. I left LaShawn McCoy on the bench. Turned on the TV, game starts, they're like, LaShawn McCoy's in. And I was like, you cocksuckers. How could you go? He wasn't supposed to go in? And so at first I was crying in my coffee, in my bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, because it's Sunday morning, I'm enjoying my life. I'm just sitting there enjoying my life. And why didn't I play LaShawn? Turned out to be the best thing that happened to me all weekend, because he barely ran the ball. He left in the third quarter. Now I'm incredibly worried about LaShawn McCoy and his durability. They should have never played him. Listen, let the man rest, okay? This guy has an injury, history of injuries. If he's not 100%, don't play him. It seems like all they did was make it worse. This is a bad decision, and at the end of the day, I wound up getting lucky because I didn't fucking play him. Not that I did any better with Terrence West, who churned up 1 fucking fantasy point. Crabtree, god damn it, and I said this. What did I say? I said, I feel like it's one of those weeks where the pendulum swings back to Michael Crabtree. And what the fuck happened? Okay? Sure enough, went all the way back to Amari Cooper, 0. He gave you like 1.3 points. Amari Cooper, or Crabtree, and he got all the targets. I said it, and I knew it, and it happened. And finally, what did I say about Terrell Pryor? I told you that this Cleveland team couldn't be trusted. You can't trade somebody from a good team for a good player on a shit team. So, sure enough, Terrell Pryor, 2 of 4 targets for 18 yards, floated right back down to fucking earth. Cincinnati, I also said, was going to be a sneaky play. They did not do nearly as well. I mean, they still got 9 points, but so did Arizona against Seattle. So, you didn't do your job. You should have been able to clobber these motherfuckers, especially when the 3rd string quarterback goes in and he kind of hurts himself. The fuck is wrong with you, Cincinnati? Where's Vontaze Burfict? Get after this motherfucker. Okay. So those were all the things I got right. I got a lot of things right going into last week. Of course, you can only get so much right about your own team. And unfortunately, I got 1 big win and 1 very tough loss. It happens. Both of them against the number 1 guys in my league. So you can't be that upset about it. Overall, for the weekend, not that bad. Daily fantasy-wise, didn't make it into the money this week. Some of my, anyways. But you know what? Let's just talk about what I got wrong. Here's what I got wrong. So I'm not going to sit here and say I got all this shit right without talking about what I got wrong. Here's what I got wrong. I said Ajayi would never run for another 200 yards. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Ajayi, no way. It's impossible. Impossible. Impossible is the word that I use for go bet on it. He did run another 200 yards. I said there was going to be a good game for Meredith. Yeah, exactly. I said that it would be a good game for Meredith out of Chicago. He was the 1 receiver I liked. Nope. He sucked a dick. Meredith is quickly turning into that mirage that is Sammy Coates, Case Keenum, and Trevor Siemian. They're all on Mirage Island over there. Mirage Island. Welcome to Mirage Island, where we give you 1 incredible week of performance, and then we suck on dicks. Okay. Jordy Nelson. I was wrong about him. I thought Jordy Nelson had a big night, but he was an injury thing. And I feel like with an injury thing, it's kind of like, you got to let that go. ODB did not have a monster game versus LA. I really thought Odell Beckham Jr. was going to have another monster game. I was wrong about that. 5 of 9 targets for 49 yards. But I failed to think, take into account the fact they were playing in London. I just didn't even think about that. And the London thing makes things wishy-washy. And that being the case, I don't know if I would have made that prediction if I would have realized they were in London. Now, I was wrong about Carson Wentz. I said the tape's out on Carson Wentz, and I still believe that. He has not been having those monster games that he had at the beginning, whereas Dak Prescott keeps going up and up and up and up. Go Cowboys! Wentz has been going down and down and down, although this one he came up a little bit. I think he still gave you about 18 points, but that game was really all about defense. He didn't have to do that much. He still had a decent game, though, not great. Mariota, Mariota was supposed to ball out, okay, against the Colts. Colts have a terrible defense, okay? It was supposed to be Mariota like last week with his 33 fantasy points. I was expecting, the same thing this week. And of course, because I expected it. Because I wanted it for my team, he fucking gave me like 16 points, sucked a giant dick. He went 22 of 37 passes, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he also gave up a fumble for a TD, so what would have been 25 points became 18 points. I was wrong about Hunter Henry. I thought Hunter Henry was going to have a baller game against Atlanta. I thought he was going to be the guy to really get a bunch of targets, and he just basically evaporated. Now, I don't think that makes him a mirage. I think Hunter Henry is still going to have great games. That was just a down game for him. Okay, and now let's do a Breeze. Like I said, I expected Breeze to do what Breeze normally does when he's outside on the road, and that's suck a giant cock. But instead, he decided to be good this week, and just to make me look like an asshole. So congratulations, Mr. Breeze. You made me look like an asshole. All right. And the most wrong. Here's what I was most wrong about. And this brings me to one of my favorite segments here on Fantasy Football Harsh Reality. It's time to hand out my weekly Fuck You! These are guys that I feel absolutely betrayed me in fantasy football in general. And the thing that I was most wrong about, the thing that really brought me tremendous pain this week, a great big fuck you to Matt Forte. You total piece of shit. You fucking dick. For the last 6 weeks, last 5 weeks, he's done nothing but suck dicks. Last 4 weeks, 4 weeks in a row, no, just terrible. Losing all his touches to Bilal Powell. And then, so what do? I lose faith. And I should have learned my lesson. Here's the lesson. Anyways, we'll get to the lesson. But I lost faith, and I dropped him for James White out of New England. Now, James White still delivered a touchdown. This guy, he's in New England. I'm like, you know what? I want a slice of a great offense instead of a slice of this fucking turd that is the New York Jets. But then, you know what they were calling him, Fitzmagic? The Fitzmagic finally kicked in. And that fucking idiot, the Amish asshole, the fucking human hairy butthole, the white Armenian, this guy goes, he somehow manages to fucking use his Jedi mind powers to injure fucking Geno Smith and get back in the game. He got back in the game somehow. And then all of a sudden, he's gonna get, I honestly think him getting benched for 3 quarters was the best thing that could have happened to the Jets this season. Because all of a sudden he came in, and Forte is fucking amazing. Runs for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. This fucking piece of shit. Here's the thing though. I do not believe Forte is back for the season now. I don't think that now he's going to be so great and every season, I think that was I've realized something about Forte. Forte gives you 1 great game every 4 games. That's what you get. 1 great game every 4. So, which unlike Terrence West, who gives you 1 bad game every 4 games. For my money, I'd rather have Terrence West. Because fuck Matt Forte. Fuck you! No shit. For those of you who are watching this not on Facebook or listening to the podcast, Andrew Wheeler just suggested I need a stripper to come in between segments, which is not a bad idea. That actually would probably up viewership. I like this idea. I'm going to see if I can find a stripper. Okay, so that's what I got wrong. Matt Forte. Oh, I'd like to do another fuck you for David Carr. David, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? Okay? What the fuck? You can't throw to 2 receivers in one game? It has to be one or the other? What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Just spread it out. Spread it out. You're like some chick that can't decide between her 2 great loves. No, it's Amari Cooper. No, it's Crabtree. No, it's Amari Cooper. No, it's Crabtree. Just fuck them both. Just fucking little Chinese finger cuffs. How about this, David? How about this, Carr? A little of this next week for us, the fucking fantasy players. God, I hate you, David Carr. Figure it out. Okay, let's keep going. I made a trade on DeAndre Hopkins. I had to let him go. And listen, last night's game versus Denver did nothing to dissuade me from the opinion that this is just going to be a bad season for DeAndre Hopkins. They're not going to bench Osweiler. They gave him $70 million. They are sticking with him. Okay, and I think this is a thing. Maybe they find it at the end, and if they do, I'll feel like an idiot. But I think it's a season-long problem. I think it's going to be a bad season for both these guys, DeAndre Hopkins and Osweiler. I think Will Fuller's doing so great because the guy's just afraid to throw the ball down the field. I think he feels like interceptions are the one thing that'll get him benched. So he ain't going to do it. He's just not going to throw it down the field. So that being the case, DeAndre Hopkins, I'm afraid. So I traded him. For who? Terrence West. I really believe in Terrence West this season. I really do. Okay. DeMarco Murray. Let's talk about DeMarco Murray. I got a big fuck you for DeMarco Murray. Not because he's doing anything wrong. Not because he's no longer a Dallas Cowboy. That's the Cowboys' fault, and they should never have let him go. But fuck you, DeMarco Murray, because I have Derrick Henry, and I'm just waiting for you to fucking get hurt already. Will you pull a hammy or something? Get the fuck off the field, would ya? Okay? Derrick Henry is a star. You think Ajayi's fucking doing great? Wait till Derrick Henry gets one full game. He's gonna fucking change the game. And he's sitting on the bench. He comes out for one play. He gets the ball thrown at the back of his helmet. Fuck you, DeMarco Murray. You gotta be amazing this year. You can't go back to last year's DeMarco Murray. You piece of shit. Fuck you, LaShawn McCoy. I know I've got you. I love you, but stay out of the game. If you're hurt, stay out of the game. And Cincy defense, you can't do better on a third-string QB than 9 points. Fuck you. Fuck you. And those are my fuck yous for this week. Week 7. And now the stripper. Ooh, do you want to dance with me? Do you think I'm a nasty girl? Ooh, do you want to go home with me? Do you think I'm a nasty girl? And we're back. Okay. Did you guys see that last part? Did you like that? Okay. Now, let's talk about lessons learned. Sometimes you just have to, you just gotta just learn the lesson from the week. Let's see, Tyrell Williams for San Diego is for real. This guy, he's clearly stood out. You like that? He's clearly now the guy that he's the number 1 receiver. Tyrell Williams in San Diego. Hunter Henry and him are gonna trade off and who has the big game. But in terms of the actual downfield threat, it looks like it's Tyrell Williams. Here's another lesson I learned. I learned that I wish Travis Benjamin and Melvin Gordon didn't have the same hair. Because I spend half the time trying to figure out who just got the points. Melvin Gordon or Travis Benjamin. Fucking one of you get a haircut. Well, Andrew, I do what I can. I do what I can. Yes, that's the placeholder stripper for the real deal coming later this season. I learned that Joey Bosa in San Diego is a star, and he's the reason I think we need to start taking this Chargers defense seriously, because this guy's getting through the line, he's getting fucking sacks, he's playing pretty good. I think he is the difference maker in this San Diego defense. I learned that Trevor Siemian is now, and Case Keenum are two of a kind. Total mirages, can't be trusted. That they're going to be like Matt Forte, one great game every 4 games, and the rest is going to be terrible. Not every time, Dario. Not every time. Okay, Anquan Bolden. Here's the thing. It looks like Anquan Bolden is going to get 1 touchdown every other game. The problem is figuring out which game it's going to be. It's not going to be every game, but he will wind up ending the season with 8 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins. Now, it is hard for me to compliment the Redskins because I'm a Cowboys fan. Cowboys. Number 1, go Cowboys. Go Cowboys! But I will say Kirk Cousins is beginning to look like the Kirk Cousins of last year. He ran the ball for a touchdown. He made some exciting plays. His energy level was up. I don't know if maybe he was suffering from low T. Maybe he had some low T issues, and he got that back up now, and the sack's swollen, and he's playing like a man again. But I hate to say it, but Kirk Cousins is starting to look like Kirk Cousins of last season. If you need a quarterback and he's available in your league, this is the week to get Kirk Cousins. Golden Tate wants to remain in fantasy land. Now, he didn't have the huge game, but he still had a very, very good game. 6 of 12 targets, 93 yards, didn't get a touchdown, almost broke 100, gave you 12 fantasy points, great in your flex position. Golden Tate may be back. That's 2 games in a row. If he gets 3, we'll have something real on our hands. But of course, it's probably Matthew Stafford, who doesn't know, am I good, am I not good? I don't fucking know. Okay. Unbelievably, Philadelphia out-defensed Minnesota, the best defense in the league. Listen, this game blew my mind. Now, I have to say, though, there was a part of it I truly enjoyed. There's some quarterbacks, when they get hit, it just, you taste it. You know, you taste it in your mouth. It's delicious. It's nasty. You're like, that tastes so good. I love watching Sam Bradford get knocked down. I don't know why. He's got those weak knees. You know, he's got those awkward. It's like, I hate Sam Bradford. So fuck Sam Bradford. Oklahoma fucking Sooner boomer buttfucker. And watching him get beat up was a lot of fun. So, and I think Philadelphia, that defense, they're pretty amazing. Okay. Let's see who else. Fitzpatrick. Talk about Fitzmagic, man. Him being able to, all of a sudden, he's coming out of the stands. He was getting a hot dog. And then, now he's good again. Again, I think it may have been the best thing to happen to his year was getting put on the bench and then magically getting his job back. Here's another lesson I learned. The Ravens have got to get Kamar Aiken involved. He's like the Crowder. He's the guy they got to get him getting the underneath stuff so that Mike Wallace and Deshaun Jackson can get down the field. Mike Wallace is not